How are you both doing?
Good.
Is it tea or coffee?
Coffee
Both.
for me.
Tea.
You're rocking both.
Interesting.
You got to start two-fisting the tea and the coffee.
It's going to be a pinky up, Billy. Yeah. Pinky. We're both wearing our rings from Outlaw King, aren't we?
We are.
Mr. Pine bought us. Very nice of him too.
Should we get on with the...
No, I'm ready. When I'm ready when you are, they're like,
here we
you're going
go.
to stop drinking the tea.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were going to do like a special drink thing.
No, no, it's
fine. One of the things, I don't mind if you drink during the interview.
It's all right.
One of the things that is fascinating about the way David likes to work is he loves doing these long takes where it's like he could go 15 minutes without a cut.
Yeah.
And he's shooting with 4 or 5 cameras. It's such an interesting way because so many filmmakers don't go like that. Can you sort of talk about working with a director like that and maybe what that brings to the table?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was a whole new experience for me. I didn't really know what to expect, and that continued. And being surprised. So, for instance, there's a sort of courtyard scene, and we ride in, and we didn't know where any of the cameras were placed. So Barry Ackroyd, cinematographer, he has come from a documentary background. So he's capturing kind of truthful moments that aren't necessarily the event itself. You know, we're interested in stuff that surrounds the event as well, because that's what gives it its impact. And also then with David giving us the freedom, liberating us as actors and allowing us to play, that came from the fact that he wanted to do rolling resets. He was like, never called cut. Let's just try, and also imagine trying to configure like the logistics of 150 supporting artists, but still doing a rolling reset, So they would capture them walking back to their positions, and that becomes part of the language of the cinema and the movie itself.
There was to reiterate what Billy said, there was a theatricality to it where it wasn't, sometimes you do some films, you do some TV, and it's like, okay, hit your mark, stay there, do that there. There was such a freedom because sometimes you'd come into a courtyard or you'd be on a moor or on a hill, and you knew there was cameras around you, but you weren't quite sure where they were turned on or where they were actually placed. So, and he wouldn't yell cut at times, but it did create a very spontaneous feeling of just being and of playing. And then when someone doesn't say cut and you know what's going to be the end of the scene, you can play more. You have this sort of freedom of expressionism as a character, that you can stay in that world and you can try things and you can improvise. I mean, David always said that the script isn't sort of the Bible per se. The script is a guideline. The script is a structure of our story, of course, but within that, if there's anything that we can do to improve it, little nuances that we can add to it. It was a great collaborative experience with David. He gave us freedom, and with Chris being our sort of fearless leader, we all sort of very much, it was very altruistic. We very much helped each other out, and there was no shame or no, I've got an idea, what is it? Oh, try it. No, maybe that won't work. There was nothing like, people being shot down for having an idea that was good or bad or indifferent. That wasn't the case. It was a kind of sort of band of brothers, band of sisters, together and going like, well, let's, because it's very challenging material, it's a story that's never really been told before about a man who even many Scots don't actually know. They know who Robert the Bruce is. He's an iconic king. He's on the £20 note. But how did he become the man that he became? Why did they write the Declaration of Arbroath in 1320 when it came to pass? How did he achieve all this and brings freedom, independence to a sovereign nation like Scotland? Defeat an army that was 5 times the size of his, with his, he had guerrilla tactics. That the genesis of guerrilla warfare derives from the way Bruce would fight in bogs, because he was heavy horse charge. You could never withstand that. Scotland always got obliterated until Loudon Hill, until Bannockburn 7 years later, attacking small English garrisons. He had to use his mind rather than might, because and that's why in many ways Robert the Bruce is arguably one of the most greatest sort of historical tactical military geniuses. And all of that aspect, he was still a very flawed man. In many ways, he's a heroic figure, but he, I think the way Chris portrayed him when he worked with David and the rest of us, that he's torn. Am I going to stay with my lands? Am I going to keep my lands in England? Keep my lands? But within that, he changes his mind. Wallace is killed, and he's got something deep down inside of him that says, I care more about my nation, or more about my people, than I do about sort of lands and wealth, and as it were. So, within that, there's many other stories. The relationship between Billy and Prince of Wales and his father as well is one of, great pain and sort of
Emotional trauma.
Emotional trauma, shall we say.